All right, welcome to Talkin Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about HUT8 mining, stock ticker HUT. HUT is a Bitcoin miner as well as a high-performance data computing center. So, I want to talk about both of those things. HUT8 just put out their operational report for the month of September. I want to go through that, and I want to go through HUT in detail. They are a little bit of a different company than the other Bitcoin mining companies, so I want to dig into that. And I got some very interesting charts to show you regarding HUT8 stock activity. So I want to look at all of that, so I'll try and get through this as fast as I can. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot. And for those of you who want some additional content, we do have a membership for the channel. You can hit the join button on the YouTube page, and you can become a member of the channel, and you get some additional content, as well as once a week we do a members only live chat. So we'd love to see you there. Okay, let's get into HUT8. Okay, so I'm going to start out taking a look at how they finished the day yesterday. So they finished the day at $2.07, almost even on the day. That was pretty typical for most of the Bitcoin miners yesterday. So that left them with just over a $400 million market cap. So I always like to start here. I just want to put that into some historical perspective and show you a chart of their market cap over the last few years. So they're sitting at about 400 million right now. So if we look at this in November of 2021, that's when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. HUT8 was about a $2 billion company. So they're down from that $2 billion, they're down to about $400 million right now. Now that is typical of most of the Bitcoin mining companies. They have all been taken out. They're all way off of their all-time highs. I also like to look at another number. Bitcoin had a nice little rally in March. During that rally, HUT's market cap was about $1 billion. So again, now they're down to about $400 million. So they're even down 60% just from March of this year. Believe it or not, that's actually better than most of the other Bitcoin mining companies. But still, this stock is way off of its highs. Okay, let's take a look at the operational update. Okay, HUT8 mining production and operation update for September of 2022. So the first thing they say, 277 Bitcoin mined, bringing their reserves to 8,388. So we're going to talk about that later as well. 277 Bitcoin were generated, resulting in an average production rate of approximately 9.2 Bitcoin per day. I'm going to compare that to last month, and you're going to see that's off quite a bit. However, there's a few explanations for that, and they go into that later in this report. So we're going to dig into that and see exactly what's going on. Other than CleanSpark, which beat its all-time record this month, I do believe that every single Bitcoin mining company will have mined less in September than they did in August. August was a really good month for most of the Bitcoin mining companies. September was a very difficult month. The difficulty level for mining Bitcoin was up dramatically in September, as well as there was a lot of difficulty with getting energy and energy curtailment, and HUT8 was not immune from that, so that's a big part of what is going on here. And there's another thing as well that we'll get into. So just to put it in perspective, this is August's update, so this was last month. They mined 375 Bitcoin. So we're going to get to a chart later showing month by month the Bitcoin they've mined. I think everybody expected this. Keeping up with our long-standing HODL strategy, 100% of the self-mined Bitcoin in September were deposited into custody. Total Bitcoin balance held in reserve as of September 30th is 8,388. So that's most self-mined Bitcoin that any Bitcoin miner holds on their books. So they are the number one hodlers. They're the original hodlers. HUT8 actually has been doing this longer than most of the other companies. This is not their first bear market or crypto winter, if you will, but yet they managed to hodl 100% of their Bitcoin really all through the year 2021 and the year 2022. Okay, consolidated the most efficient miners at our Medicine Hat site, increasing hash rate efficiency by 11%. Installed ASIC hash rate capacity was 3.07%, so that's up from 2.92% last month. So they're just inching up. They've increased every single month all year this year, but you're going to see, we're going to look at their year-end target. They had a reasonably modest goal. They reset that goal in the middle of the year, and they've been basically sticking to it, and it looks like they're going to be right on by the end of the year. Okay, lastly, they say HUT8 produced 90.2 Bitcoin per exahash in September. That is very low. I'm going to show you their historic efficiency number, and this is very low for them. And again, there's a few reasons why, and we're going to get into them right now. Okay, number one, Ethereum. HUT8 had 10,000 high-performance GPUs from NVIDIA that they were using to mine Ethereum. Ethereum. So we've talked to Hut, we've talked to Sue from Hut 8 a few times. They knew that this merge was coming. However, these machines have paid for themselves in the Ethereum that they mined, and they were extremely efficient miners. They're able to segue their GPUs. So we're going to see that they've moved over to the other segment of their business. And that is a segment of their business that generates positive cash flow, which is one of the reasons they're able to hodl 100% of their Bitcoin. There's almost no companies left doing that. Unfortunately, a lot of companies hodled while Bitcoin was at a very high price and were forced to sell when Bitcoin was at a much lower price. So far, Hut 8 has avoided that fate. They've managed to maintain and hold all their Bitcoin. They've expressed that they have no intention to stop that at any time in the near future. So that 90 Bitcoin per exahash, that number was very low, and this is one of the reasons why. They chose during peak energy times when energy was just too expensive. They curtailed their energy uses and they reduced their Bitcoin mining. For Hut 8, all of their Bitcoin mining is done in Canada. So actually their best months from a weather standpoint are in the winter. There is also some curtailment in the winter that they participate in because as it gets too cold, energy is needed for the grid, for the rest of the people to warm their homes and businesses, etc. On September 20th, we held our first Analyst Day at our newly renovated flagship data center. This is a second line of business that Hut 8 has chosen to be in. There is some synergies between the two, but this line of business is in no way dependent on the price of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So this was a big part of their defensive strategy. Again, these guys have been through this road before. This is not their first crypto winter, so they had a little bit of a different strategy, and they have been actually much, much more conservative than all of the other Bitcoin miners. So when we get to their exahash rate, you're going to see their target goal for the end of the year is 3.5 exahash. So initially, when this year started, they were looking to get to 6 or 6.5 exahash, but sometime earlier in the year, they backed off of that and pushed that back, and now they're not even saying that number. Right now, they're just targeting the 3.5 exahash, and the reason they're sticking at that is those are machines they've all already paid for. Past that, what Jamie has said is they're going to be opportunistic. They are looking to expand either organically or inorganically. So if there's opportunities for them to pick things up through acquisitions, mergers, etc. They're going to look to do that. And they're going to look on both sides of their business, both the high-performance computing side as well as the Bitcoin mining side. Okay, I want to take a look at a few charts that I've put together. And one of the things that they had mentioned was that they were at 90 Bitcoin per exahash in the month of September. So I want to show you, this was Hut. This is everybody's mining efficiency in the month of August. So somewhere in the 125 to 135 range has been considered very good. Now the difficulty level went up in September, so that's going to dial back a little bit. But you'll see Hut was at 126 Bitcoin per exahash in August. They're now down to 90 exahash in September. So they're no longer able to mine Bitcoin using their GPUs. During energy costs, they made the decision to curtail their energy usage and reduce their Bitcoin mining. So that was a conscious decision. So as a result of that, obviously their efficiency rating goes down. However, what they avoid is paying those extra high energy costs at peak energy times. As the world struggles a little bit with the cost of energy, we'll see how this goes going forward. Okay, so here's Bitcoin by month for the last year. So you'll see last September they did 264. This September they did 277. Not much of a difference. They were at 375 last month. That was their all-time high. For the reasons we talked about, that has dropped off, but they've been fairly consistent over the last year. What I think is interesting is the next chart is going to talk about their stock. So while they've been a little bit sideways on growing their business, their balance sheet is very strong, and that has paid off in stock performance. This is a chart of how each company's stock has performed since they hit their lows. Hut is up 63% off of their lows in June from this summer. So that's the third best performance for a stock of any of the Bitcoin mining companies. So while they've been growing a little bit slower, their balance sheet approach to doing business seems to have benefited their stock price. So their stock price has held on very well. Let's just finish up with a look at the chart. This is Hut on the one-day time frame. So you can see they hit those summer lows, and that was at about $1.28. All the Bitcoin miners had a nice run up in August, and somewhere in the middle of August, and you'll see here it's August 15th, which was the most typical date, Hut hit a local high of $3.70. So that was a 187% run up in their stock. So I want to show that because these are the types of moves that can happen in these small cap, high growth stocks, and all these Bitcoin miners fall into that category. So we see moves like this all the time. But the opposite is also true. They can pull back just as fast as they run up. So these are highly volatile stocks. So I want to reiterate, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and understand the volatility in these stocks, because all too many people buy high and sell low in a panic because of the mass volatility that these stocks have. The other number I wanted to look at is you'll see, like we just looked at on the last chart, they're still up about 63% from their lows this summer. So many of the other Bitcoin mining companies are actually down below their summer lows. A lot of them are just about break even, and then you saw a few of them were performing very well, and Hut is one of them. They had the third best performance of all the Bitcoin mining stocks. They did pull back quite a bit from their highs in August. Now, Bitcoin ran up to about $25,000 in August, so we're not too far off from that right now. We're hanging around at around $20,000. So if we can have one nice little relief rally, it would be about an 80% increase in Hut's stock price if they can just get back to where they were in the middle of August after the relief rally that Bitcoin had in August. So I think that's a realistic price target sometime this year, potentially sometime even in the next 60 or 90 days, as I'm looking for us to maybe have a relief rally here in this period between now and the end of the year. Bitcoin had a nice relief rally back at the end of March as well, and Bitcoin ran up to about $48,000 at that time. So that was a very strong rally, and all of the Bitcoin miners hit a local high at that time as well. You can see at that time, Hut was up near $6.75. They were pushing $7. I don't think we need to talk about price targets past this, and this is a 220% increase in the price of their stock if they were able to retrace their steps and get back to where they were back in March of 2022. So obviously a few things have to happen. Bitcoin has to get healthy to some extent. Hut has to continue to operate, get up to that 3.5 exahash, increase their efficiency back up, not at 90 per exahash, but back up to maybe 115 or 125 Bitcoin per exahash. So if they do all those things and Bitcoin has a nice run, I think this is a realistic, maybe 1 to 2 year price target. Things move very fast in Bitcoin, so, this could happen a lot faster than that or not happen at all. So again, everybody, please be super careful when investing in either Hut 8 or any of the Bitcoin mining companies or Bitcoin itself. So that's all I got for you on Hut 8. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and smash the like button. Thanks again.